Hi guys, Tech here. So LSFG just released their new version 3 of frame generation, which claimed to improve quality, performance, and latency. So mainly they claim that they have reduced flickering and border artifacts, which are pretty noticeable in some games and earlier versions of LSFG. Today I'm going to compare both LSFG version 2.3 and 3 to see any improvements as they claim. For this I'm going to use Red Dead Redemption 2. In 2.3 version, LSFG is pretty unusable with this game, which had some noticeable border artifacts. Also, there is issue with heads disappearing from the main character. Let's see whether they are fixed or not. So, let's first check how the performance is affected. I will use external camera in order to reduce performance loss for now. So, without any FG, I'm currently getting around 65 frames per second in average. Let's enable 60 frames per second lock first to get consistent FG experience. Let's first see how the new LSFG 3.0 version performs. Okay, now I have enabled 2 times frame generation. As you can see now, the base frame rate has gone down to around 46 frames per second. With generated frames, now I'm getting around 90 frames per second. And it feels pretty good. Now let's cap the frame rate to 40 frames per second and see whether we can get consistent 120 frames per second with highest resolution scale. And yes, we can get consistent 120 frames per second on LSFG 3. Okay, then let's see how the LSFG 2.3 will perform without performance mode. Seems like not very well. My GPU can't keep consistent 40 frames per second with LSFG 2.3. It's getting around 37 average FPS on base frame rate. So, I can't get consistent 120 frames per second. Also, on the frame time graph is not straight. So, there are micro stutters. Let's see whether performance mode will help to get 120 frames per second. Now with performance mode, we can get consistent 40 frames per second on LSFG 2.3. Okay, then now I will show how the LSFG 3's quality compared to LSFG 2.3. I'm running the game at 1080p at hardware unbox settings with FSR set to quality to reduce the TAA artifacts, which provide best visual to performance ratio. Now this is without any frame generation. As you can see, it looks pretty good. There is little noise around Artha, and these are the things that intensify when FG enables. Okay, now let's enable LSFG 2.3 without performance mode. As you can see now, the noise around Artha has become much more prominent. And when you move the camera, Artha's hat getting clipped. These are the main issues that I can't use LSFG 2.3 on Red Dead Redemption 2. Now let's enable performance mode and see what it will do. So, it feels a little better compared to LSFG 2.3 without performance mode. But the artifacts are now much more visible. Okay, then let's enable LSFG 3 and see what the improvements are. Now immediately I can see that the noise around Artha has reduced. Also, the hat clipping is solved as well. Now, that's a good improvement. So overall, LSFG 3 update is a major upgrade compared to version 2.3. If you find this video useful, please help me by subscribing.